At school, play sports, I always picture Anthony. Everyone in California City knows about Anthony. Every year, they sing to him for his birthday. They carry around bracelets in his honor. Anthony was a true hero, and thanks to his sacrifice, his siblings were saved, and they can have a better life now. Life will truly never be the same. A part of us will always be missing Anthony, and no amount of time will ever take that away. Yes, today we will get some kind of justice for Anthony, but he will never come back. We will never get to see our baby boy again. I will never get to hear him say, "Auntie Maria, I love you." I will never get to watch him become a young, amazing man. He wanted to join the military. He wanted to join the army just like his Uncle David. He wanted to become a police officer or a firefighter. Heather, you took his dreams and hopes away. You were supposed to be his protector. You once told me that you would never be like Pearl Fernandez. I remember that day we sat there talking about Gabriel Fernandez and how those horrible monsters took that young child's life. And I remember you telling me you would never be like Pearl Fernandez. Guess what? You're just like her, even worse. You tortured your kids. You failed your kids. And because of you, our family is broken. Slowly but surely the puzzle pieces will come together again, but it will never be the same. Heather, I loved you so much. I loved you so much and always saw the best in you. But today, I have nothing but hate for you. I will never hate someone as much as I do you. Because you failed Anthony, you failed Destiny, you failed Junior, you failed Angel. And you can never be forgiven. Kareem, you'll get what's coming to you. Nobody likes a child abuser. How can a big, strong guy beat up a 10-year-old child? It doesn't make any sense. It will never make sense. Anthony could have never done anything to receive that kind of punishment or treatment. I hope you both rot in hell. I hope that every day you regret what you did, and every time you take a bite of food, you think of how you starved your children, how you starved Anthony. Nothing will ever take away this pain, but we will keep Anthony's memory alive. I will always remember his laughter, all the pictures, all the memories, all the birthday celebrations, his favorite holiday, Halloween, dressing up as Batman, Spider-Man. I will always remember the good times with my baby boy, and he knows that I love him dearly, and I will never forget him. Thank you.
Thank you. David Barrett.
Hello, Your Honor. I want you to, when you're making your decision, I'm pretty sure you already made your decision, but I want you to know that what these people did to these children is unspeakable. But not only what they did to them physically, they will live with for the rest of their life mentally. They have to live knowing that their brother's gone. They have to live knowing that guilt that they feel because they didn't say something. Those kids are strong, and they need to know that they are loved and they are not to be blamed. The ones that are at blame are sitting over there in orange suits right now. They need to be in those suits for the rest of their lives, Your Honor. Not only the physical abuse to this family, but the rest of the families involved. I have children that every time they accomplish something, sometimes they cry because Anthony's not there, because he should be there with them. I have to watch my wife cry almost daily because of the guilt she feels inside. I've never got to express my emotions because I feel, as the man of the house, I had to protect everybody else. And I want you to know, Your Honor, I'm never going to be okay. What these people did to my nephew eats me up every day inside. I try to fill my life with other kids, and I try to help them to make up for my guilt. But nothing will ever make up for it, Your Honor. I have to be here to say these things. It's still mind-blowing to me. Why are we here? Heather was there to protect him. We were here to protect him. And she did not allow it. She went along with it. She helped him. She planned it. I don't even know what to say because I'm in shock every day. I don't know, Your Honor, I'm sorry. But you need to make sure these people never walk the streets again. Anthony is never going to be able to do anything he ever dreamed of. He will never play sports. He'll never join the military. He'll never go to college. That was one of his dreams, Your Honor, is going to college. At 10 years old, he wanted to go to college. He wanted a future. He wanted to make his life better so he can help other people's. He was a protector of other children. He knew what he wanted to do in life. He was going to be something special. And these people took it away. The effects of what they did are never going to be completed. My kids, my wife, is Anthony's siblings. They're going to have to remember this no matter what. Even if they got life in prison, Anthony's still gone. No amount of therapy or anything is going to fix this situation. But knowing that they will be locked up for life will give us that little bit of joy, knowing that they're going to suffer just a little bit, just a fraction of what Anthony and those children went through. I miss Anthony a lot, and I miss his siblings a lot. And sorry. I hope these two monsters know that the torture is still going. If that's what they wanted, they got off on the torture, they're still getting off, because we're tortured daily. Every time we see a newspaper article, my wife breaks down and I have to try to build her back up. This is the hardest thing that a person can go through, is being up here speaking like this. I have to tell you that I want my sister in jail for life. A person I called a friend at one time, I want him in jail. It shouldn't happen, and it shouldn't have happened. But just know, Anthony was a great kid. And he's inspiring a lot of other kids still to this day. Every time I coach his sports team, they do it in Anthony's honor. Every time my children do make some kind of accomplishment in life, they do it in Anthony's honor. So Anthony will live on. But just know, it tears us down just as much as it builds us up to know what is going on. And I'm sorry, it's hard to speak, so I'm going to stop. But just please, just don't let these monsters out ever. Keep them in jail. Thank you.
I believe this is our last live witness, and Mr. Tamori is going to read some other letters. Diane Avalos. Does anybody want to speak after Diane? Well, you already spoke.
Donnie, I want to let you know this is what I intend to do right now. So after the victim impact statements are read by Mr. Gregorian, I intend to take a recess because I think we need it. I know that everyone had to file in and find a seat. Remember where you're seated, because that's where you're going to sit again. Okay? So we will file out, and then you will file all that, it has to be exactly as you're seated. So I just wanted to let you all know that before it happened. Go ahead.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to speak, Victor, after? Okay. If it pleases the court, Your Honor, after Diane speaks, may Victor Avalos.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I may not have known Anthony personally, but I have never stopped thinking about him. In fact, I've completely enveloped myself in him and feel hurt and cared just like mostly everyone here today. Over the years, throughout all of this, I've gotten to know him and feel him more and more. Every May 4th, every June 20th, 21st, every time I drive by that apartment complex, by that cemetery, hearing the name Anthony, every pediatric call I run, I think about him. In my 9 years as a first responder, of all of the hundreds of calls that I've ran, all of the trauma, tragedy, and death that I and other colleagues have seen and heard of, this still surpasses them all. Never have I been a part of such a sad and disgusting situation. And as time passes and new details constantly emerge, it's only gotten worse. I can never or will ever understand the reasoning to all of this. How can someone be that evil to another person, especially to a child, and even worse, your own? The fact that you monsters get to keep your life after brutally taking one and negatively affecting so many others, that you get to breathe, eat, laugh, and live somewhat of a life remains the most unfair. It may seem counterintuitive as someone that rushes to save lives to publicly wish death upon another human. So as a person that lives and preaches in love, I actually wish the opposite for you both. I would hope that you both are made to feel alone, tormented, neglected, scared, confused, unwanted, unsafe, disgusting, useless, hated, lost, unloved, and every other horrible emotion you inflicted on little Anthony and even more. Death would only end those feelings for you, so I pray to God and all the higher powers that you both forever feel the misery you have caused, both in this life and eternally afterwards. I debated on sharing what I thought and felt, thinking that it wasn't my place, like it wouldn't matter or compared to what the family would say. But in the way that it was important to accurately share my experience and knowledge, and to stand up for Anthony in reports and in testimony, I find it important to stand up for myself and his family that are left here behind with this pain to carry. To stand up here and show the impact that he has had on more than just those that knew him, and to speak up and show him that I care more, going way beyond my job as an EMT paramedic. I've always hated hearing, well, now he doesn't have to suffer anymore. No, he should have never suffered in the first place. He should have never experienced that pain, and death should not have been what finally ended it. And murder should have never been part of the narrative. I'm sorry to the family members, teachers, guardians, friends, and all the other first responders and medical personnel, Anthony's legal team, and anyone also affected by losing him. I am also sorry to the other children that were treated wrongfully and experienced this atrocity. But I'm mostly sorry to you, Anthony, that this ever happened to you. I can only hope now that you know that you never deserved the evil that was imposed upon you. That it was them that was the problem, and you were better than anything you ever received. In a way, I am thankful that it was me who showed up on the worst day. I am forever grateful to have gotten to know you, even if it had to be in only the most unfortunate of circumstances. I am honored with the responsibility bestowed upon me for standing up for you in your corner. And as I am glad this is all finally coming to a close, even though I wish the outcome was nearly as equal as the one that was given to you, I will forever carry a special place for you in my heart. Thank you.
Victor Avalos.
Your Honor, I would like for this courtroom to know just a couple things. It's short. Just because I moved out to Mexico doesn't mean I didn't want to be around Anthony. I loved Anthony very much. I still do, and I miss him. I never knew that this is how it was going to end for him. I wish it didn't never happen, but it did. I wish Heather would have just handed him over to me, like I had told her before. Even though I was far away, I was still willing to take over. My oldest now, his birthday is on May 3rd, while Anthony's on May 4th. It's hard to not think about the next day. My kids tell me if I'm okay. Of course I tell them yes, but it's not like that. So, whatever it is that you make your decision, I know that Anthony would have just be okay for whatever it is that you make your decision. I feel some type of guilt by not being able to help him when he most needed me. I think about that every day. I miss him. But now, I just don't get to hear him, see him how I used to see him through FaceTime or any other application. Instead, I have to go see him at the cemetery. I wish this never happened. I wish Heather would have made the right decision. Sorry. I just want to say thank you for your time, patience. I know this is not an easy case. And we'll be good for whatever is that your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Timori? Why don't you move the table back where it was, move the podium up so that you understand behind the podium.
This first one's from David Baron Anthony Avalos' little cousin. Let me read it on his behalf, Your Honor. Dear Judge, losing my cousin Anthony was the hardest thing my family has ever gone through. On that fateful summer night, we awoke late and huddled in the living room. My mom rushed to the hospital and left me confused. I didn't know what to think till I woke up and heard the horrible news. Heather had killed my older cousin Anthony. Anthony was like a sibling to me, the only brother I had. He was a fun person. You would never see him not smiling, and even though he was in pain, he was always smiling. Heather wasn't happy until she took that smile away forever. That monster killed my 10-year-old cousin Anthony. And not only did she lie about it, she knew what she did. She had invisible blood on her hands. She still cried even though she had no remorse. She had left a family broken. My mom fell into a heavy depression, rarely coming out of her room. My dad, even though he was hurt, had to act strong to keep the family going. I was only in the 3rd grade. Heather took a part of my childhood. That monster made a happy family become devastated. Heather deserves death, but that is not allowed, sadly. I hope her and Kareem get the worst possible punishment. I hope they have the guilt of their actions on their shoulders for the rest of their lives. I hope they are miserable in prison, like how they made my family miserable. I hope they experience the same pain and torture that they put Anthony through. I always remember our beautiful time together, my cousin, brother, and friend. One day we will be together again, and until then, cheer me on from up above. I promise you that I'll always do my best in life for you. I love and miss you very much, Anthony. Thank you for your time and effort, Honorable Judge. Sincerely, David Barron, Anthony Avalos, little cousin. This next one is from Luis Barron, Anthony Avalos, little cousin. Dear Judge, thank you for your time and effort in reaching this verdict. I know it must have been hard, and my family and I are grateful to you. Ever since my cousin Anthony died, my life has changed forever. It changed everyone in my family. It is hard to live with the fact that my cousin is dead and that Heather, a monster that I can't even call aunt anymore, killed Anthony. There was a hole in all of our hearts that can no longer be healed. When I found out that Heather killed Anthony and hurt my other cousins, I was sad and angry. My mom became depressed, and my dad was very sad over Anthony's death, but he didn't know how to show it in order to not make our family fall apart completely. It was sad that a monster killed my cousin. That monster took my cousin, who was an older brother to me. Anthony would take care of me and play with me all the time, and every moment with him was so enjoyable and fun. Anthony grew up with my family, and DCFS took him and his siblings away from us. They gave him back to the 2 monsters that abused and tortured him. This tragedy has changed our lives forever. We will never get to see Anthony grow up. I don't get the opportunity to ask my cousin for advice, or play in the same sports team, hang out together, and do normal things teenagers do. I will forever be thankful to have spent the time with my dear cousins, Anthony, Destiny, Junior, and Angel. I love you guys so much and miss you all so dearly. I hope someday we can all be together again. It sucks to have an aunt that is a disgrace to my family. When they go to prison, I hope they get messed up badly, and that they rot in prison, and that they don't see the outside world ever again. I hope every day is filled with guilt. Heather and Kareem, you both are evil monsters, and there is a special place in hell for the both of you. May no one have mercy on your soul. Sincerely, Luis Barron, Anthony Avalos' little cousin. This is from Andrew Barron, Anthony's little cousin. Ever since the day my cousin Anthony Avalos died, things have not been the same in my life. My family, my mom, and dad used to be so happy and joyful, but ever since Anthony died, they have never been as happy as they used to be. It is so hard to live with the fact that my cousin is no longer in this world. He was such an amazing friend and always helped me out. We shared so many fun times together, and I wish I could have done more. I can never understand why anyone would want to do anything to hurt him, and that's why I hope Heather, who I no longer consider part of my family, to get the worst possible sentence she can get. Anthony deserves justice, and unfortunately the death penalty is off the table, and life without the possibility of parole will be the best punishment she can get. I hope you suffer every day of your life. You ruined our family. You chose a man over your kids and family. I will never forgive you, and I hope your life is filled with guilt. You took my cousin, my brother, my friend's life away. I will never get to see him grow up with me, and I'll never get to make more memories with him, and I'll never get to be in his presence, and that pains me every day. Thank you, your honorable judge, for all your time and effort in reaching your verdict. Sincerely, Andrew Barron, Anthony Nolan, Avalos' little cousin. This is from Mighty Cruz. I don't believe she's not here today. Heather, you as well as Cream don't ever deserve to get talked to. I can't even believe I'm typing this. Anthony and the rest of his siblings didn't deserve what you guys did. You both took Anthony's life away and left us with a hole in our heart. The way you both murdered and tortured him was horrifying. Seeing him in his casket was the worst day of my life. Till this day, I can see how you guys left him. I don't understand why you guys did that. It's so hard telling his cousins he is no longer with us. I take my daughters to the cemetery and take pictures of them there instead of taking pictures of them with Anthony at Disneyland or the park, making memories. Instead, they're making memories at the cemetery. I still cry most nights. Losing Anthony made a big impact on my life and changed me so much. His birthday is coming up, May 4th. He would have been 15 years old. We would have celebrated him in life, and I could picture him smiling, telling all of his family how much he loved us. But no, you both took his life away. Now we must celebrate for him and celebrate his justice. I hope you both get the punishment you deserve. I hope the judge sees how much pain you have both caused the family and how traumatizing this has been for us. It's been 5 years that we have been coming to court, seeing both of your face and both of you smirk and laugh at us. We finally get to see the justice we have been waiting for, what Anthony has been waiting for. 5 years to finally sentence the both of you. The main question I have for both of you is what everyone is asking. Why? This was from Melanie Barron, Anthony Avalos' older cousin. My life, as I knew it, would never be the same. The day my cousin Anthony died, my life got flipped upside down, and on June 21st, 2018, I suddenly went from having a very happy childhood to experiencing the worst possible pain ever. I suddenly had to watch my family endure so much pain. My mother went into a deep depression, and we hardly saw her for months. My dad did his best to keep us happy, but I knew he needed help. So I stepped up and took the role of being a mom, because I knew that my mom needed me at that moment. I made sure that my brothers had clean clothes, did their homework, and read. I helped make sure that the house was as clean as it could be. I was only 10 years old when you, Heather, took my childhood away. I went from being a free child to bearing the responsibilities of the household and keeping up with school. Heather, you destroyed so many lives with your reckless behavior and disregard for the lives of your children. Every day, I think of what if. What if Anthony and me were only 4 months apart? We grew up together. I still remember how he would hold onto my hand so I wouldn't cry because I missed my mom. Anthony would always protect me, and he loved me so much. You didn't only take away my cousin, my brother, you also took away my best friend. We should have been doing everything together. Instead, I got to promote from elementary school without him. I finished middle school and Anthony wasn't by my side. And as I finished my freshman year, I can't help but picture what we would have done together. Anthony should be here with me right now. But instead, I'm here writing this because you monsters took his life away. Even after all those years of not seeing Anthony, there was still some hope when we were older. I would get to see him and make new memories together. Heather killed any chance of me getting to see him again. I never get to experience things like graduating high school or doing sports with Anthony. He will never get a chance to graduate high school, play sports, get a job, or live a full life now, something he deserved. He deserved to be able to play sports and do what he liked. He deserved to have a loving mom, but he did not get that. Instead of a mom, he got a selfish monster who couldn't even pick her own kids over a man. It's hard to believe I ever saw you as an aunt who I loved and saw as a good person. I couldn't and will never look at you the same as before. You are nothing but garbage to me. There is no forgiving you in this lifetime or the next. I hope every meal you eat in prison makes you think of how you starved your son Anthony. My mom always said that hate is a strong word and we can only use it for really evil people. I hate you, Heather and Kareem, with all of my might. I have never felt such hatred for someone as I do for you two. I pray that no other families have to experience the pain of losing a loved one, a child to a family member, or anyone at that. I promise you, Anthony, that I will live my life to the fullest. And with every achievement I reach, it will be in your honor. I love and miss you, my dearest cousin, brother, and best friend Anthony Nolan Avalos. You will have a special place in my heart. Say his name, Anthony Nolan Avalos. Thank you, Honorable Judge, for your time and patience in reaching a guilty verdict in Anthony's case. Sincerely, Melanie Barron Anthony Avalos' older cousin, sister, and best friend. And there's one more, Your Honor. It's from Deputy David Pine. I am Deputy Pine, and I work for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I was the first person on scene at the apartment where Anthony Avalos was found unconscious on the living room floor. In all 14 years as working as a deputy sheriff, this case has bothered me the most. Seeing the lifeless body of a young Anthony Avalos lying on the floor was very disheartening. While I was helping to save the life of Anthony, I cannot forget the mother, Heather Barron, defending herself and blaming all the torture marks on Anthony falling in his bedroom or playing basketball the day before. All I remember is Heather saying she did not do anything to Anthony and she did not understand why we were questioning the other children in the apartment. I'm sorry, but if Anthony was my child and he was lying on the floor dying, I'd be freaking out and trying to help him. Heather at no time showed any emotion and kept blaming Anthony for all of the injuries he had. I just hope she gets the punishment she deserves, and this does not happen to another helpless child again.